My husband planned an affair on a trip that I paid for.
Were you on the trip too? I hope not.
I am 32 female and my husband is 36 male. We've been married 2 years and together 9. And up until yesterday, I thought we were genuinely happy together. By the way, this comes from Throwaway WTF. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to our OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Vincent.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. Back to OP, a bit of context. We have this thing where I change my name to random things on his phone every few months. They're always funny and well over the top. The last one was something like perfect human form. It's just a joke that has gone on for a few years. So yesterday he was in the shower and his work phone was out, so I changed my name in his contacts. As I did so, a notification from Snapchat came through with an image and a name of a woman he knew back home. He's from another country and moved here, the UK, around 10 years ago. As this was his work phone, it was really weird, so I clicked on it. It opened to a 5-day streak chat with this woman who's with seriously crude texts, photos of both of them, not the face, and them planning to meet up when he goes back. Dates, times, locations, and everything. She was even planning on taking a sick day from work. One of his D-pics was in our bed with me in the house.
No.
He is booked to go back for a few weeks, end of November, to see a very sick relative. I paid for his flights so he could see them before they passed. I had a panic attack and he walked out the shower to see me hyperventilating. I asked him why and how could he. He said it was only talking and that he'd been feeling neglected recently.
Also, liar, liar, your pants are burning off because they're on fire because you guys sent pictures too.
Yeah, you sent pictures back. And yeah, I asked how, and he said work has been stressful and that he just wanted someone who wanted him for him and that he doesn't feel like he's ever enough for me.
Well, you should figure out your insecurity then, buddy.
Yeah, I had no idea. He hasn't mentioned anything and nothing has changed. A few years ago, I think 3 or 4, when we first moved into our house, he shared that he sometimes didn't feel enough for me. We went to counseling and worked through it. A major effort was made on both of our sides to get through it, and I thought we had. The thing is, I know I can be hard work. I'm closer to a type A than type B. I'm pretty successful career-wise and not massively touchy-feely. But I'm not closed off and have never given a crap about his job or anything like that. I've been supporting him off and on 2 years when he took a career break and became an actor. For F's sake, he hasn't even paid towards a mortgage in 4 years, as I didn't want him to feel dependent on me / stretch his pay too thin. I don't know why I'm posting or what I'm expecting from this. I just don't know what to do. As I punned him out for now, but there are major logistics to deal with as I work away and we have 2 dogs. How do I navigate this? I absolutely consider this as cheating. How can I make sure I don't let myself forgive him? He's been in my life for almost 10 years. I've supported him in every way. Can I end it for a week of messages? How can I not end it after that? Sorry for all the questions. I know this post will sit unanswered upon in the millions of I'm so surprised he cheated stories, but within 24 hours, my happy, hard-earned life is in flames, and I'm staring at the wreckage.
I hate the fact that we see emotional cheating, like some people see emotional cheating as like not actual cheating, because it fully is. It is still
100%
a
is.
complete, like, I can't even think of my word.
It's a betrayal.
Betrayal, thank you,
Yeah.
of your trust in this person.
Mm.
They trust you wholeheartedly, and you're giving yourself in any way, emotionally, physically, through pictures that he sent. away to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's unforgivable. I don't think you should. And I think if you can make sure to convince yourself not to, because I understand that is so hard after 10 years especially, like, give yourself the respect that you need to get out of it.
And I think that's the big thing. I like what you said, like, respect yourself enough.
Yeah.
Because if you let that slide,
it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, it's gonna happen again. And again, people respect you as much as you respect yourself.
Yeah.
So stand your ground on this one. Also, cancel his tickets. You bought them.
Genius.
Cancel his tickets. Be a little vindictive.
You
deserve
flight
it.
Insurance, or change them.
Yeah. Or
change them to a really inconvenient time.
Yeah. Switch the flight to a place that you want to go and take the dogs. Okay.
I'm
comment.
taking the dog.
Comment from Crazy Dixie. I would cancel his flight ticket for sure.
There you go.
Hey, Crazy Dixie, I love you. He is feeling down but not doing anything about it. He's planning to F someone else because his ego was stroked. What about your love and devotion? Yeah, it is difficult, but you can do it. And even if you don't divorce him, think about the fact that he actually needs to prove that he is sorry about what he did and not because he was caught. If there is no explanation, the trust will not go back to the way it was. It happened to me with my husband. Even now, after 7 years, I don't know why he cheated. I don't trust him, and we regularly argue about anything. Okay, Sarah, I cancel return flight. Commenter yada yada ab00 says, in this hotel, you gotta stop laughing.
Cancel both of them.
And commenter Melodrama says, cheaper to pay a dog sitter than subsidize a worthless man. Update. 1 month later.
Ooh.
Hi, everyone. Almost 5 weeks later, and after how helpful so many of you have been, I want to give you an update. To start it off, many of you said he'd been cheating for longer or had done so before. You were right. I originally believed that he'd been cheating for a week, but due to a particularly noticeable carpet in a hotel room of the D-pics were taken in, I found out it has been going on for at least a month. He, of course, denied it and lied when confronted, but that month included our 9-year anniversary. Oh, no.
Tomato at this man.
Tomatoes, all the rotten fruit. And countless other events, so it was really, really useful to stop me blaming myself. He is still adamant that it's never happened before, and I do believe him, but that didn't stop me from taking an STI test just in case. All clean, thank goodness.
Thank God.
He also admitted to lying about them having a previous relationship, and I caught him in another lie about the Snapchat messages. So he stayed true to form. Since I punted him, we've only spoken twice. He left the dogs, so I guess they're my dogs now, and wants a percentage of my house. I can't speak for other countries, but in the UK, marriage for enough years entitles you to half of everything, regardless of who contributed to what. Under advice from a lawyer, we're staying amicable, so he only takes the agreed amount and leaves my pension savings, etc. alone. On the dogs, I've gotten a load more dog sitters, and I've agreed to let them stay with him while I'm away, with work as long as he covers most of their costs. Outside of this, I did the usual, change the locks, cancel his flights, threw out all his stuff on bin day, and had a full-blown breakdown as a crying, wasted. I have great friends who are supportive, but he's the only family I have/had. So I've started seeing a therapist as well to help the process of moving forward. I'm taking this as an opportunity for a full reset and evaluation of what I want. So I'm trying to move jobs, sell my house to move closer to my friends, and get a load of dental work that I've been putting off. Good for you. Throw in some injured dogs and, oh, I'm sorry your dogs are injured. And it's turned out to be a truly horrific month. Honestly, it sucked, but I'm rebuilding my life to be something I choose, and it's getting easier week by week. By the way, you know what else is super easy? Finding more episodes of OK Storytime. You can listen to us and full episodes with the stories just like this Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Yeah,
There'll be
do it.
stories. There'll be episodes. Months worth.
There's another relevant update, but let's discuss.
Good for you. I'm so glad that you are done with him.
Kim Foyne said, what if you met a 28-year-old unemployed nanny? That's literally me. That's literally me. Don't come at me.
Is that a reference to a movie that just came out? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's my life.
But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard in those first couple months, especially with all of that going on. But it's going to be for the better. You still have your whole life in front of you. And talk to your lawyer and see how you can get more of that stuff in your name.
That's unfortunate that that's the laws there, but
see how
anything.
you can see how you can make sure he doesn't get too much of what you've worked so hard for.
Yeah.
Because right now he don't deserve it.
Not at all.
All right. So let's get back into it. OP says, thank you all so much for your help and comments when I first posted. Seeing the overwhelming support and brutal comments against both him and me put it into perspective and was enough to convince me that I wasn't crazy for overthinking this. I'm massively grateful for the dose of reality. And don't worry, to all of you who called me a doormat, thank you for that. I won't be taking him back or allowing anyone else to take advantage of me like that again. Good. May the force be with you, random Reddit strangers, and thank you again. Cat-like creature, I'm so curious. How has this been for him, and how did he react? Was he sad? Trying to make it right? Heartbroken? Without remorse? OP. Very, very sad. He spent the first few weeks feeling really sorry for himself and, quote-unquote, in shock. He stopped blaming anything except himself, I think due to the therapist, and going down the route of saying it was self-sabotage/depression, and he needs to work on himself for a bit. I agree. This may all be very true, and to be honest, I kind of think it is. But he hasn't tried to reconcile or even make much of an effort to fight, not begging to chat or turning up, no suggestion of couples counseling, etc. Just kind of rolled over and has been licking his wounds. Commenter StinkEye63. Can he still get half the house even if he hasn't contributed anything for 4 years? Yep. It's a law I genuinely agree with to protect stay-at-home parents. Apparently, the law doesn't differentiate between that and someone who wanted to try acting.
Dang.
That's funny.
Dang.
You know, as an actor myself, I feel a little attacked. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. That's tough. And that's another thing. In relationships, I've been in a relationship for a while. I understand when, like, sometimes one person has to carry more, but I like to try to keep it 50-50 as most.
It's a general balance. It can
Yeah.
waver one way, it can waver the other way, but
Yeah.
you hope that it comes back to mostly the middle.
Yeah, balance is always important in a lot of things. All right. According to Pizza 8484, also, who made the down payment? I'd get all your receipts and ducks in a row, at least fight him getting a cent more than he's legally entitled to. OP and 2 lawyers agree. I am staying amicable and trading the house for the rest. I don't want his debt either. Also on the table legally. Ugh. So compromise is the aim of the game. And that's it.
I checked my wife's phone records and caught her lying about texting her coworker.
Ooh, liar, liar, pants on fire.
So I, male 61, always had a very naive and blind faith in my wife, 59 female's, fidelity. Honestly, it never entered my mind that she even noticed other men or would ever even think about someone else. By the way, this comes from throwaway 213454321. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Vincent.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, foolish, ignorant, and naive, I now realize, not because of what she's done or not done, but just because, duh, of course, she's human, and so is everyone else. She's attractive and friendly, and attractions happen. I've literally been punting my butt for a few months now over realizing just how stupid I've always been. One day, a couple months ago, she tells me a story about a prank a couple guys at her work pulled on their supervisor. It's a fun work environment, and shows me a text from one dude kidding around to her about it. I jokingly said, "Who is this dude texting your phone?" She responds, kind of surprised, and says, "Do you want to read it all?" I smirked and said, "No, I don't care." Which was not entirely true, but I didn't want to look insecure or like I was accusing her of wrongdoing. Things settle down, but you see I fly, and so does this dude mentioned above. I got a new, to me, plane last year, and she mentioned this to him. Oh my god!
Oh, he
fly
flies.
like a plane!
Okay.
Since then, she's bringing him home his stories of flying and how he said I should do X and Y to my plane and that he knows how I should do my maintenance. So I'm a red-blooded man and really do not want another dude saying these things to my wife. Like he wants to puff himself up to her. Am I sounding like a teenager? I know, ha ha ha. A few weeks pass, and she brings me her phone and says, "Look at this," all excited. It's him flying his plane. Newer and a little larger than mine.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh, P.S. His plane a little bigger than yours.
His plane's shiny on mine.
Are you a little uncomfortable that he's got a bigger plane?
Got a big old plane. Hit flies farther and,
Oh,
and
no.
lasts a little bit longer in the air.
Kind of dangerously. He got a few of his buddies to record him doing some stunts out in the country and stitched them into a short that she somehow got a hold of. I had no idea it was him. At first, I assumed it was a random Facebook video or whatever. She scrolls Facebook like all the time crazy. Then she shows me a text thread with him that she initiated, kinda teasing him about how dangerous that was. He texts back, ha ha ha, blah blah, and she says something funny that she wanted me to see was funny. That's when she shared all of this, because she got a zinger in on him. That didn't sit well, and since I was holding the phone, I said, "What else are you guys talking about?" and scrolled up. Well, the very next previous exchange was them going over a work issue, which she solved for him, and he responds with a cartoon bitmoji of his face and upper body holding heart hands to her. I kinda went red when I saw that, and scrolled a little more to see the next oldest exchange was the above-mentioned prank, which was around a month prior. So, not seeing a lot of frequent action, I stopped and handed her phone back. I found this dude on Facebook, and he rarely posts anything that I could see. Some updates a couple times per year, nothing in 2024. So how did she get the plane video? I told her I looked him up, and the video wasn't on his public feed, and she says, "I don't know how that works." Huh? You don't know how you were able to see it? I dropped it because, again, I don't want to appear insecure or accusing, but dang, did he send her a private link? Was he just trying to game her and humiliate me? Am I now being a child for feeling this insecurity? LMAO. After that, I told her later, "You remember offering to show me his text way back that first time about the prank? I'd take you up on that now." She said, "I already deleted everything." Oh, great. I was pissed at the heart hands. That's a sign of love, in my opinion. She said, "Don't be jealous. I work with these people," etc., which did not make me feel better. I had already been leaving anyway, so I left and we didn't speak for a few hours. Then she called me and we had a chat, and it seemed she was trying to sweep it away and not consider my feelings on the matter. Well, I was also pissed that she initiated a personal text teasing him about his plane. And why are they using their personal phones for business anyway? They have a desk phone and DM through their IT systems. It's all starting to look fishy to me. I'm gonna pause real fast.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna downplay your feelings, OP, okay? You can have them, and I think it's good to get them out there so she knows. I think you're sounding a little insecure.
Yeah.
I agree.
And here's the key thing here. She's showing you this.
Right.
If there was like some actual romantic feelings between these two, she would try to hide that from you.
Right.
And she hasn't done any actions or made anything seem like she's actually into this guy. This guy might be into her.
For sure.
I would definitely
It's one of those things where it's like, I think that you can make your wife aware of the situation and just have that so she knows that it's in your mind and she can be aware of it and everything. But ultimately, they work together.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to communicate.
Yeah, they work together. I might let her know that way, hey, I don't know if you know, but this guy definitely has a thing for you, or I feel like it. It makes me feel like this.
Right.
And then, yeah, go from there.
Yeah. I will not look at her phone. I did it one time during this ordeal and felt horrible. closed it quickly without digging, and never touched it again. Please share your feedback on this information and any similar stories or advice you would give me. I appreciate your reply and thank you for reading. And there's an update, and we'll get into that. So I read every response. Thank you to everyone who contributed. Some great advice, some not so great. But I reviewed it all and paid attention to how many upvotes each reply got, in order to judge which advice was most favorable and most likely to help solve my problem. Really doing that very scientific, dude.
Okay.
Anyway, about to burst, I finally had to broach the subject in a face-to-face conversation yesterday, Sunday, while we were relaxing. She was very open and willing to discuss anything I wanted. But once we got into it, one thing happened that was funny. When this all first came to light, I had asked her to tell me if she had any contact with her friend, and she had not come to me to report any in the 2 weeks since. So I asked her yesterday, and she said, no, none. Then I said, none? And she said, well, he passed my open office door one time and said, hey, and I replied, hey. She said, that's all. One time, she told me. I said, but you just said none a minute ago. And she said, just one hey, that's all. I thought it was mildly humorous that she left that out, because so far the conversation was going really well. So I asked her if he'd entered her office, and she said no other contact, period. That satisfied me. Then we talked about the heart emoji he sent her, which I still felt was inappropriate. She again was reluctant to say he was flirting with her, and she was so open and convincing that I started to just accept that she has a better feel for his intentions and how he behaves around her to make this judgment, and that I could trust her on this point. I asked her a lot of other questions, and we spent a good bit of time on discussing boundaries and protecting our relationship. Our relationship started when we were teenagers. Times were different then, and it's simply something we had never discussed. Arrows from enemies, keeping a wall of defense around our hearts. She wanted to draw a picture of her wall, and it went to the sky. She drew a picture of other people's walls that had openings and places where they could peek out to look for possible opportunities with others. She said her wall is impenetrable. She offered several other unsolicited, reassuring comments. Then she said, I have answered all of your questions with utmost honesty, and now I want to ask you a question. I was a little nervous, but she said, what can I do to make you feel more secure? What do you want from me? I smiled, and she just said, no, answer me. And I just said that I smiled because her asking me that was exactly what I wanted. My only answer was, I do not want you to do anything different than you already are. So her asking that was just perfect. I also stressed that I did not want her to feel she has to change who she is and how she behaves, and not to feel like she has to hold back work stories involving men for fear of causing me anxiety. I do not need that. She has fully restored my trust and faith in her. I then said, wait, I do want something. I want you to come to me if ever you perceive any issue with other men, with us, or within yourself, so we can discuss it openly. That's all I want. I did not get to all of the questions in my mind or cover all the possible scenarios that came from everyone's input. It just got to the point that I was convinced it was a false alarm and wanted to move on with our day, which was fantastic. Later, we had a really great time in the bedroom.
Okay.
Smiley face.
Hope you had fun. That's great. Good. But I think you just ran into a little bit of insecurity. She doesn't need to change anything, but I think you might need to do a little thinking of, like, what do you need? Because clearly, like, something, like, what reassurance?
It was a very valid question, and I was kind of hoping that he gave her something that she could do to reassure. Because it's like, you sound like you need it.
Yeah, because, like, your feelings are valid. Like, if you're feeling something, that means something's happening to you. And if you can address it and figure out, okay, I'm feeling this because I'm afraid of something.
Yeah, 100%.
Then work out what you may need from her or what you need to do for you in order to react in the most positive way you can to address that feeling. Because you're going to have those feelings. Yeah.
I just wanted to pass along this conclusion to my problem and to thank everyone who took the time to help me sort this out. We have another update. Anyway, she ended her sabbatical with a few weeks left, which she often reserves to use over the holidays. She's been back under the same roof with her male friend for a couple weeks, and I just can't get it out of my head. Here's why this keeps bugging me. She has never brought this up again, even though it's impossible they haven't encountered each other since the event. either before her taking leave or since returning. Sure, they may pass in the hall and say hi, and I don't want to get those updates several times a day. But before the event, his name would crop up in after-work stories at least every couple months, if not more. Her telling me, guy said this, guy did that. Since then, not a peep. Why is he suddenly invisible to me? You need to maybe think about the fact that she's like respecting your boundary and your concerns and is staying away from him.
At this point, you're creating the problem in your head.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's just working with this guy. You're spiraling.
Fully.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. Figure out what that is. And then figure out what you need to do. Fix that for yourself.
Yep. Either she truly has not had spontaneous contact, or she shut him down, or she's protecting us by not mentioning it, since I had a strong negative reaction to her relationship with him. She's got me feeling like I shouldn't even bring it up again, even though she assured me multiple times that she would report any interaction, which hasn't happened, and that she was fine with me bringing it up. In the meantime, I've been staying alert, which has also been eye-opening. She openly engages with men right in my presence in ways that I now feel are inappropriate and flirtatious. I never noticed it before because I always had 100% blind trust and just saw her as a super friendly type of person. But when she sits next to a man on the other side of the room to tease him, sitting against him so their shoulders touch, smiling, laughing, and putting her hand on his shoulder at church, then to me, that is now suddenly sus. Mind you, this is a man I know for certain she has zero spicy-related interest in, but come on, I'm right here watching this crap. Ugh, what are you doing with hot guys when I'm not around? Anyway, this is my quick question, lol. Sorry it wasn't so quick. I'm still debating whether to reopen this issue. We have had a fantastic summer with lots of spicy sleep, love, and caring, so I don't want to upset her or us unnecessarily. However, I don't think I can just wish this away. Sometimes I feel like I can. Just decide to let it all go and be happy and return to normal. But the question is, which of these 3 courses would you advise? Or another? 1. Do nothing for now. Continue to observe and be diligent in reacting to anything sus. 2. Bring it up in a casual way. Just ask, any contact with guy? 3. Number 2, adding a lot more very probing questions like, has guy texted or messaged you since the event? Did you ever have physical contact with guy? Either of you touch each other? Does he make you laugh and feel special? Do you think he's attractive? Do you have other men that you message directly, non-work? Do you have Snapchat friends other than family? We all use Snapchat for family chatting. Do you Facebook message with any men? She's an avid Facebook user. Do you use any other messaging apps? Do you have anything else relevant to share that I might be interested in? 3 is what I want to do, but I'm afraid it could damage our relationship, especially if there's nothing going on. Don't you, oh my God, don't you freaking dare do 3, I'll tell you that much.
3 definitely will mess up your relationship.
Yikes.
Dude.
This poor girl.
Your thing is...
Get over it, dude.
What you want to do? You want to control everything, every person she meets?
Yeah, hot people exist in the world and she's gonna come across them.
Yeah, and she has given you no reason.
Nothing.
No reason to doubt her in any way. The call is coming from inside the house. It's all you right now.
That's a yikes, dude. What are we doing?
You gotta do some work. I think you should choose option E, go to a therapist, talk, and like, don't blame her for any of this, because like, just say, I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling like this? And it's not her. It's I'm feeling like this because I feel like abandoned or I feel afraid of something. Figure out what that is and do the work.
Get to the root of it, dude. It is not her. I feel like it's warranted. But it's very intrusive, and she would probably be offended by the level of scrutiny. To add, we have open phones, but I do not snoop. I need to resolve this one way or another. It's eating me up. I think about it every day, almost all day, interfering with work, and can't go a day or 2 without drinking. I appreciate your time and thoughtful replies. And also, feel free to comment on my other threads if you like. Update 3!
Wait, did he just plug his other threads?
He did. Yeah. Some of you might remember my tale, but briefly, Around 4 months ago, my wife showed me some text exchange between herself and a male coworker that made me uncomfortable. We had a few conversations, and I felt we settled the issue, but it has continued to gnaw at me for months now. Please review my post history for all the details.
Another plug.
As
Stop.
mentioned in my last post, she ended her sabbatical and is back at work with her male friend these past couple of weeks. Still looking for a way to resolve this. I went back to the cell phone logs and, thanks to reading these forums, I found fastpeoplesearch.com, which actually gives you the name of the owner and a cell phone number, very reliably. I had tried other ways to get her friend's number before, but none worked. Until this one.
No.
I think we have a little ICU, but... So, I went back through her text logs and finally hit on his number. Gnawing feeling in the stomach. I made a little chart and found all the dates they texted. This mostly reassured me and made things better, except for one small detail. Back when I first searched her text logs, I recognized several numbers of family and friends, but she interacts with a lot of people in her work using her personal phone, and dozens of unknown numbers were of no help. As of now, I have identified all but about 2 numbers. His was next to the last one on my list, but I found him. On to the good and the bad. The good, I could see that there was not a lot of activity prior to my discovery, the event, and never outside work hours, although I could only see back to February now. This reassured me that she was honest when she said most of their texts were boring work-related, although some of the exchanges were longer than what I remember seeing in that flash of time that I viewed the thread. 10, 14, even 24 total back and forth. But I also realized texts add up fast. Some of my threads with her can go 30 or 40 in a matter of minutes, so not too big a deal. The bad. So you might have read where I asked her the day of the event to tell me if he ever contacts her again, and she agreed. One of my issues in my last post was that she has never come to me to report anything, even though I know they must interact in some way. I don't want her to report every hi in the hall, but non-work chats, or especially texts or anything like that, should be reported. So 2 weeks after the event, and after seeing advice here, I sat her down to discuss things and asked her if there had been any contact. She said no, none. Then when I pressed her, she admitted he had greeted her outside her open office door, which is fine, and I let it slide, since that kind of contact I know is going to happen and not a problem. But that was it, period. However, once I knew his number and could scan for every interaction, I found it. He texted her 2 days after the event, 3 quick texts, and she texted back 1 time. That is all. Nothing after that, even up to today. So she lied. 2 days after she promised to tell me if he texted her, he did. And 2 weeks later, when I asked her about it, she denied it. Dude, it was probably work-related.
I'm horrified.
This man is driving me nuts.
Well, one, like, he stalked his own wife's phone.
You drive me nuts. You have no trust.
If you continue doing this, you will be destroying your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like ruining it for himself for absolutely no reason at all. Like just being insecure and just being like weird about it and just being like, what else can I possibly find to cause an issue?
It's almost like he wants to find something.
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
And it's like, what's the goal? She's proven herself time and time again.
Yeah, it's rough out here. This is kind of danging, but not super bad, and no other texts have occurred. But it reminded me of an event shortly after all this where she showed me something on her phone, and when she closed that app and she saw 5 Facebook notifications on her home screen, her finger instinctively went to swipe the Facebook icon. But then she quickly closed her phone. I was a little suspicious at the time, but now I wonder if they just moved their chats to Facebook Messenger instead of texts. By the way, you can move yourselves on down to your favorite podcast app where you can listen to more full episodes of stories just like this. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search up OK Storytime. We've got just a little bit left. Any final thoughts?
I'm so mad at OP.
Yeah. No, this dude stinks.
Dude.
He needs just a lot of help.
Yeah. Again, he's creating an issue.
Yeah.
And like, why can't you had a good summer with a lot of spicy sleep time with your wife? Things are happy. Things are good, right? Back to what he said. Get help. Go to therapy. What are you afraid of?
Insecure man. Leave your wife alone. She's
also
doing
like,
her best here.
Yeah.
It's also like, what else do you need her to do? And, you know, she even said.
She asked that.
Right.
That's
And
what
I'm pretty sure the text you found, dude, was probably just work.
No, yeah, it was 3 texts, and she's
Right.
like, and it was him saying something, her responding, and then him saying like thank you or whatever. And then he's like, she lied. That's pretty danging.
Such a good chance that that was during work or shortly after it. It was just like, hey, did you do this today? And she was like, yeah, I like submitted. And he's like, hey, thanks so much. Have a nice night.
And she completely forgot about it and went home to you,
Right.
the person that she loved.
She loves you. Insane. I don't think that's what's happening. It's just a suspicion, and a mild one at that. I truly think they had some near innocent, borderline inappropriate texts going on, and she stopped because I didn't like it, and everything is fine. And I think she admitted telling me about that last text just to keep the peace. But it still sucks that she wasn't honest with me. I'm gonna sit tight for now and watch the cell logs for a couple months. Don't do that.
Watch the cell logs.
And if nothing else fishy comes up, I'll probably just let it all go. My biggest fear is that they resume texting in the future and I have to confront her. Hope that doesn't happen. That is the end of that story.